Couple of things I'm a little upset about. We couldn't get Big Joe turned around. He did the same thing at Enid, Oklahoma, from his original home to get on a trailer. It took us maybe an hour and a half to finally get him turned around. You got to poke him a little bit, push him, and we finally got him turned around. Hey guys, it's Dusty Baker with Cross Timbers Bison. It's that time of the year. It's our fall handling. It's the first time we're going to work Big Joe and the ladies. So we're going to get that started here just a little bit. We've got to round them up and bring in the herd. Big Joe and the two ladies are already in a small pen, but now it's time to get them worked up and get them in the pens. And then it goes from a bigger pen to a smaller pen into the tub here, and then a squeeze chute into our new head gate that I just put on. Then we'll get them worked. we go, here we go. All right, guys, well, that's it. Crazy time. Anytime you work bison, it can get a little dicey. Number one thing, nobody got hurt and no bison got hurt. So those are the two main things. Every time that you work bison, one, that no person, human, gets hurt, and that two, none of the bison are overstressed or get injured. Those are two of the most important things. Couple of things I'm a little upset about. It's not, let me start with the negatives first. One, we couldn't get Big Joe turned around. Just couldn't get him turned around. He did the same thing at Enid, Oklahoma, from his original home to get on a trailer. If you've watched that video, it took us maybe an hour and a half to finally get him turned around. You got to poke him a little bit and push him, and we finally got him turned around. But the other bad part, I couldn't get Bellstar and I couldn't get Dakota up. Dakota was the one I had sick a couple years ago. She's my most skittish bison out of all of them. And I tried with the ATV and couldn't get him rounded up at all, force him into it. But they wouldn't come in the corral this morning to eat. And this happens anytime you work bison. And the problem is we would typically use this area down here where Big Joe and his the ladies are, but we can't because they're in there and we don't want to get the two bulls together. So we didn't get Bellstar worked. We didn't get Dakota worked. And Joe, we didn't get him worked either. I didn't even get to see how much he weighed. I know, this sucks, guys. A lot of you are asking me, how big is he? How much does he weigh? Well, unfortunately, we didn't get to weigh him. I was pretty disappointed about that. We tried to poke him for about, I don't know, 30 or 45 minutes, and we got nowhere. So he was not going through the alley system to the tub and then the squeeze chute. He was not going for it. So we scratched it. One thing I needed is a hot shot. I know a lot of you are probably like, why do that? Why do that? But yeah, sometimes, guys, you got to poke these animals. They're very stubborn. They're ornery. Even though they're beautiful and majestic and all those great things about them, they can be very hard-headed sometimes. So that was unfortunate that we didn't get Big Joe in. So we're going to try again in a couple of days. We may make a couple of different adjustments, but that is the downfall of Big Joe and Flo and Kit, the 3 new ones, is they've never been handled before. And when I say that, they've never been through a squeeze chute. They've never been through any of that before. So it was a first time for them. Now Kit, she went right through and we worked her. Flo, our calm new cow, we had to poke her a little bit and she finally went through and we got her vaccinated. But Big Joe, no, we couldn't. He would not go for it. And so we'll have to try to work him again in a couple of days. We may have to do some safeguard cubes, which is what they did at their original home. They did safeguard pellets, which contain wormer. And we may have to do that. But we really want to get that guy worked. I really wanted to get Big Joe on the scales to see how much he weighed and how big he really was. And I know you guys want to know too as well. Eleanor's sneaking up here to get some feed. And Eleanor was the first one that we worked and she just went right through. That's a good thing about her is she's been worked several times, been handled. She just went right through it, no problem. We've got to wait till Belle Star and Dakota come up here and we'll catch them in the corral here at some point. I don't know when, but they're going to come up here. They want to check their calves after everything is settled down now. And then we'll try to catch them then and then run them through the squeeze chute and get them vaccinated as well. So, well, guys, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following Raising Bison, channel about raising bison, guys. This is fun, and I love putting these guys on film because there's no animal like them. We're lucky to have these animals, as some of you may know, and if you don't, we almost lost these animals in the late 1800s. And today, I get to raise these animals, and just very thankful. I also want to thank Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and I want to thank my wife, and I want to thank Kevin for their help today. And I think we probably could have used 1 or 2 more bodies. See, the thing about working bison is they only see 1 or 2 people, maybe, during the week. Maybe 1 or 2 people. And if you get too many people, they know something's up. These are smart animals. And so we try not to get too many people, especially if you ever get people that are not around the bison. It could be very dangerous and tricky. But I want to thank them for their help today. And every time you work these animals, we learn something new. We do like the new head gate, and it went really well. Much better than last time. And so I'm very thankful about that. We've got to get this guy here. You know, you got really good looks, but you're hard-headed, that's for sure. So we've got to get Big Joe worked and get him taken care of. Other than that, got to get the 3 worked and get them taken care of. But see, we can all do that now because we have a system set up for that. And so we'll get them taken care of and get those calves through the weaning process. So we'll have to supplement feed them and put them on some hay, or we're gonna get them on some supplement feed and get them some hay, and they'll be good to go. Get some weight on them, let them grow. But thank you guys for watching. If you haven't, subscribe to us, okay? We're raising the American bison. There's no other animal like this on the planet. There's no other animal like this, guys. It's the American bison. Okay, hit that subscribe button, guys. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram. Taking care of guys like Big Joe right here. Thank you, guys. First time Dunbar and Joe have been this close. There is a strong panel in between them. Not a fence. I feel a little safer for these two to be this close. I opened up another lot just here next to the lot where Big Joe and his ladies are. Open it up just to let them stretch out a little bit more. And the herd, the big herd can come all the way up here. And so of course, here's Dunbar meeting Kit for the first time. No action yet from Big Joe and Dunbar, which that's a good thing. Doesn't surprise me actually. During the breeding season could be just a little bit different. Tail's up. Big Joe put the tail up. That's the sign. He's a little ticked off. Dunbar takes a step back. So I was just out here working. I opened up this other lot here for Big Joe and his two ladies just to get a little bit more room because they've been in this pen for a while now, just for letting them figure out their new home. Dunbar, of course, he had to come up and inspect and see what's going on. So nothing big happening, but just gonna eat my ramen noodles on the go. Gotta eat when you can and eat fast. Wow, looky there. You guys see that tail up? Tail was up and Kit was here. Dunbar came over to smell a Kit, and look who stepped in. Big Joe. Look at him protecting her. He's like, go on now, don't want any problems. Dunbar, he stepped down. So there you go, guys. Doesn't take much. Oh, here's some sign here of aggression. Who's got this? Who owns this place? Oh, Dunbar. Gonna contest? Nah. Just gonna get maybe a drink of water instead. Probably smart, Dunbar. I'd leave him alone. Hey, big dude. What in the world is he doing? Dunbar. Not even getting close. He knows that that's Big Joe's lady. Staying away. As far as a young 3.5-year-old bull, that's the first time I've ever seen him kind of bow down. See, looky there. See that tail up? And Dunbar's walking away. So right there you can tell who is more dominant. You've got this bull is 2.5 years older than Dunbar. Big Joe is 5.5 years old. So is Kit and Flo. More mature, bigger, a little bit more intimidating. Absolutely, for sure, Big Joe is. And then Dunbar here, he's still just He's like a young 25-year-old. Hadn't quite hit his full maturity yet, right? Still, I think he's such a nice bull. He's just curious. He wants to smell and get to know Kit here. Flo, she's over here hanging out, chilling. I think he's just curious, you know. This is the first time he's been able to get close to him, and Kit wants to get to know him too. And Big Joe's just not happy about it. I mean, it doesn't take much. He starts stepping towards Dunbar and he walks away. Come on, buddy. You need to get out in the pasture with your family. Okay. Take a deep breath now. Jeez. He's still pretty pissed off. Not good. And you got... Oh. I wanted to share something else with you. The other day it snowed down here. There's probably a lot of you in the north, anything north of Oklahoma got snow basically, but anytime it snows, it is really cool to see the bison in the snow in their natural element, and they love that cold weather. But Kevin was out here taking care of the bison. He got some good video of the bison here in the snow, and they love it. So
Dunbar.
thank you guys for watching. Pretty cool. Big Joe and Dunbar meeting for the first time. That's pretty fun to see. Glad there was no action going on. There was some action there, but nothing too physical. I think Big Joe let him know that he's here, even though Dunbar's been here a long time. Dunbar, you don't want to mess with Big Joe, I promise you. Big fella, he may be nice, but sure wouldn't want to mess with him. But thank you guys for watching. You can follow us on Instagram, you can follow us on Facebook. Guys, subscribe to us, hit that notification bell, and you can be a part of raising the American bison. It's a journey, it's a story. We started with 5, and here we are with a bull like Big Joe, the 2 ladies, and we have 14 bison now, and pretty much a full little operation going here in southern Oklahoma. Thank you guys. Hey guys, it's Dusty Baker with Cross Timbers Bison. Welcome back to another edition of the Traveling Bison Handling Guy. I'm in Holdenville, Oklahoma, which we're about an hour and a half away from the Cross Timbers Bison Ranch. Here, as you can tell, there are lots of bison here. This is the other Charles Addington Ranch, like I said, located in Holdenville, Oklahoma. We're not in West Texas this time, we're in eastern Oklahoma. It's a little bit different here. There's a little bit more rain here, and there's a lot more bison here. So we've got over 200 bison here, I'm pretty sure. I don't know the exact number, but we've got a lot of bison to work. As you can see, we've got a long day ahead of us of working these bison. I'm really excited. It's fun to go to these ranches and see different people and see different animals in a different place and different handling facilities. Got a lot to learn today. Try to pick up as much as I can. I'm just ready to work for Charles and try to make a good video for him and the bison world right here in Holdenville, Oklahoma. All right, here we go. Time to get to work, guys. Hold on. Goes a little calf, red dot or red dog. It's funny. It's a late bloomer up there. Just another day of bison ranching. Not on my ranch though. This is fun. Fun stuff. So in case you guys are wondering what I'm doing, it's called sorting. Sorting out bull calves and heifer calves, and then letting the main ones go out here in the big pasture. Calf. There we go. Got a heifer, so now she needs to go here. Oh, come on. Another heifer. You gotta get back in there. Well, so right now we're kind of in a holding, we're kind of in a stopping point. So Robert, the ranch manager of this ranch, he goes out and he brings them all in to a holding pen, just like you saw in West Texas. He brings them to a big holding lot. He brings them in with feed basically, and then you just try to get the entire herd up. Well, not all of the herd came up, and there's about 20 plus bison that were left out there in the main big pasture, and they didn't all come inside the lot. So we went ahead and worked a big portion of the bison, and then we tried to go out and actually round up the 20 to 25 left over. And boy, let me tell you something, that was fun. I felt like I was on the Great Plains running with the bison, and you got those ATVs and you got the horse out there. I love seeing the horse being used to round up these animals. You saw that in West Texas, at Wolfworth, Texas, at their other ranch, and it's fun. That horse can get into a lot of tight places and do a really good job sorting these bison out and trying to push them. But so I hop in with Robert and we go out on the feed truck and we try to push, along with some ATVs and the horse, we try to push those bison that didn't get worked into a main lot. And when you try to work bison in I don't know how many acres that was, just a big huge pasture, to bring them into a small 3 or 4 acre lot, that's very difficult to do. And that's really all we're waiting on, is to work those last couple of bison. So, but man, let me tell you what, that was pretty cool. That was fun. Good experience. Check this out. So as you can tell, this landscape This environment is way different than it was in West Texas. And actually, this is in eastern Oklahoma, where there's actually a lot of woods in eastern Oklahoma the further east you go. However, there's this small area wherever this ranch is located where there's a big open area, and that's the way Oklahoma is. The further west you go, the more it opens up. The further east you go, you run into the hardwoods of eastern Oklahoma. You run into the hardwood forest. So this is kind of this neat, pretty pocket out here where there's a lot of open country, and it's pretty neat out here. It's really pretty. It's a lot different. There's a lot of grass here on this property. Every farm, every ranch, no matter where it is, always runs into their own problems. They always have issues. There's no perfect farm. There's no perfect ranch out there. Doesn't matter what type of livestock or any animals that you raise or just crops that you grow. But from West Texas, obviously they're dealing with no rainfall. They're having to irrigate most of their property so that the bison can have good grazing grounds. Here, you don't have to irrigate. This area gets 20 more inches of rain in this part of Oklahoma than they do in West Texas. 20 more inches of rain here, and it's about a 6-hour drive difference between West Texas and Holdenville. But I'm only an hour and a half away from where my farm is to this farm, and it's not much different. There's a lot of grass here. There's a lot of grass for our bison, but one of the problems that we do face is parasites and worms. Because we do have a lot of rainfall in this part of Oklahoma, it can be Kansas, can be Missouri, a lot of these southern or southeastern states that do get a lot of rainfall. What comes with that, there's a lot of good things, a lot of positive things about having good rainfall, and that's very beneficial. However, there's a lot of bad things that come with it, and one of those bad things is called parasites and worms. Animals, it doesn't matter what animal that you raise, you're gonna have issues with worms, and you're gonna have issues with parasites if you are in part of these southern states. Now up in the north, I don't think they deal with the worms as much. I don't think they deal with parasites near as bad. But here, that's one of the things that we have to control. And a lot of you are wondering, why do we have to work the bison? Why don't we have to run them through these squeeze chutes and vaccinate them and worm them? Guys, because if we didn't, or if these people didn't, or any bison rancher didn't in the southern states, we'd have a lot of issues. You'd have a lot of dead bison, and then you'd be really questioning our intentions and what we're doing. You have to work these animals twice a year in southern Oklahoma in the south. You've got to worm them in the fall, and you got to worm them in the spring, because there's different parasites that exist wherever they roam and wherever they graze or live. And these are just conditions you have to deal with. Every ranch or every farm has their own problems, but that's what we face here in Oklahoma and that's why we have to take care of these animals, and that's why we have to work them twice a year. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. That is a wrap for today. Thank you for following. Thank you for watching as I travel from 2 of the Addington family ranches, one in West Texas a couple weeks ago, and then one in Holdenville, which is where I'm at today. I hope to do this a little more often and reach out to a couple other ranches, a couple other people I know. I'd love to go and see their animals and see their facilities and see a new environment. And it'd be fun, and I love talking about bison, and I love sharing my stories about these awesome animals. And I hope you enjoyed it, getting to see a different ranch, different animals. These animals look good, and Charles takes care of his animals and does the best he can with the conditions, just like every other farmer or rancher does. If you haven't subscribed to us, you can follow us on Facebook, you can follow us on Instagram. Thank you guys for watching. Hey guys, it's Dusty Baker with Cross Timbers Bison. Welcome back to our show. Welcome back to our channel. Brooks and I are at Stillwater Milling in Davis, Oklahoma. That's where we get all of our feed from, all of our ranch supplies from. It's a great store, but I probably spend way too much time here actually, but you always want to try to get stuff for the animals and take care of them, don't you? Anyways, I'm gonna get a couple of 12-foot gates. We're doing some work around the ranch, building some fence, and then also, bless you. And then I'm also gonna get a hay bale holder, not a ring. It's kind of something that they started selling here. It's heavy duty though. I want to try to save some of that hay because Big Joe has destroyed some hay bales, as you can tell, and spreads it out everywhere, and that's fine for, that's good hay to lay down on, some good bedding, but we wanted to save some of that hay and conserve it through the winter, so we're gonna get a hay bale holder. I guess that's what it's called. I really don't know what it's called. Typically you have rings, but this one's gonna be hoisted up in the air, so I don't know how it'll work. I'm sure he's gonna bang on it, but it's heavy duty, and that's one of the reasons I like it. So we're gonna go in here and get one of those and get it loaded up and head home. We always got Brooks with us, and we always got Maya with us. Maya always wants to go. And Brooks. What do you think? All right, we gotta put you in here. You got your buddy over there. We are strapped and we're ready to head back to the farm. So Stillwater Milling's only like, I don't know, 25 minutes or so all the way back to the Bison ranch. So it's not very far, it's super convenient, but we're gonna put this out and see how it goes for sure versus Big Joe. It is heavy duty. You can see those guys using a forklift to move that thing around. I mean, that pipe looks like it's 2 3/8, maybe 2 7/8 inch pipe, heavy gauge, and he'll bang it around some, but we'll see. Train's gone. All right, let's go home. I bet you anything Brooks falls asleep. Something about being in a vehicle. Smooths her out. Smooths baby's out. Okay, made it back to the farm. Got our heavy duty. It's called a hillbilly hay something. I don't even know what it's called. It's just whatever they said. I like the V shape of it. And the gaps are not too big for the bison to get their head stuck. Daniel from Arms Family Homestead just got this for his goats. His goats can actually get their heads in there too and not get stuck, hopefully. You know how goats are, they're silly. But anyways, told you I thought Brooks would be asleep. Here, let's check her. Oh, looky there, who wants out? Come on. Hey, look who's awake. Oh, it's bright, isn't it? Hey, babe. Oh, did you get your nap in? Oh, look who's here. It's Daniel. Maya.
They eat over the top of this rail?
Well, we'll find out.
Are those 12 foot?
Pasture and one's right here. Can't answer this because my phone's broke.
You already broke it?
No, just
This for your little one or your big one?
So to get this hay bale holder in here, all the way down here where Big Joe and the ladies are, I've got to block the calves off, put them in this little area. I got to shut this. I got the main herd shut off right over here, through down there. And now I've got to go through this lane with the ATV. I'm gonna pull it through there and then I can exit with the ATV down at the other end. So we're gonna get in the pen with Big Joe and the ladies and with the ATV, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, we got them fed. Okay, Bison, got a bale of hay for the first time we're using this. We will see how it goes. I was kind of worried about the level, the height level. Big Joe is obviously tall. He can reach over it just like he's doing right now. I had a feeling he was gonna do that, but you like Kit here. You being feisty today? Tails up, okay. All right, and Flo, their level of what they were gonna do and how they were gonna handle it. There's room underneath for shorties like them, and obviously room on the sides too. So we'll see how they do. What are you doing? Why are you all feisty? I just gave you a bale of hay, and I fed you. Come on now. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see how this goes. He looks like he's doing pretty good with it. I figured the first thing I'd do is what he would do when I put it in here is he would beat it up, but I'm sure he will at some point, but he's occupied right now because he's got some fresh hay. There's some Johnson grass in here, and there's some Bermuda grass. This was harvested right here off of our property and one of our other pastures where the bison can't get access to. So nice to have our own hay right here, and we got this feeder. It's close at Davis, which is nice because it's so close. It's to watermelon. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't, hit that subscribe button. Follow us along, guys. We're raising these awesome animals right here. There's no cooler animal in North America raising the American bison. Thank you, guys. You're not getting worked, I promise. Come on. Hey guys, it's Dusty Baker, Cross Timbers Bison. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching us work our bison. I'm here at our farm working them. It's so nice to be able to work them. We didn't get all of them worked, as you guys know. What I've got today is I've got Dakota and Belle Star, our two cows that we didn't get worked last time. You saw me riding around like a crazy idiot on the ATV trying to round them up. That doesn't work all the time. I couldn't force them in here. They're bison. I mean, you can barely do that with even cattle sometimes, but they just didn't want to come in. But today, just like a regular day, I came up here to feed. Kevin's been feeding them, and he's been telling me that Belle Star and Dakota have been coming in here, but coming in our main lot here, main corral, and sure enough, I came to feed this morning, and there they were. They just came right in to the feed, and so I fed them and I shut the main gate. Now I just have to sort out. It looks like Dunbar is in here. We've got Peaches is in here. And of course the queen bee, which is Quapaw. We got to get them out of here because they're kind of, she's a tough one right there. Yeah, she'll push them around pretty quick. So I've got to sort them out, get them out of here, and then Kevin and I are going to work Dakota and Belle Star and get we're gonna give them warmer like we did last time, and then we're gonna give them something called Triangle 10. Wintertime can be hard on these animals. I really probably hadn't talked about that much, but wintertime, it's kind of a day like this. It's cold, it's dreary. If it's wet, if we have a wet winter, we don't have a lot of snow in southern Oklahoma, but if we have a wet winter, it can be really hard on these animals. So that's why we have to vaccinate them in the fall. And then in the spring, when they hit the green grass, it starts over again. You're getting different worms, you're getting different parasites that are going on as the ground starts to heat up and the grass starts to grow. So that's why we try to mix our wormers up and our injections. They're not roaming around like they were, you know, hundreds of years ago, where there were thousands and millions of them roaming around. They didn't have to have wormer. The wolves and the bears got the weak, and the strong survived. We have to try to do our best to take care of these animals, and that's why we do that. I did leave out some footage last time. I know a lot of you are kind of upset at me or asking me, why didn't I put Dunbar's knocking off the crash gate? Our previous videos of us working our bison. Well, guys, I was just kind of embarrassed about it, to be honest with you. And I just gonna let Daniel show it, but you know, you gotta show the goods and you gotta show the bads. So I'm gonna show it to you. I think I got a couple, I found some good footage of it coming off, and you're probably wondering, why did it come off? Well, one, either I'm not a very good welder, two, he's really strong, which probably both of those are true, to be honest with you, but that's all right. So we had to do a little bit of reinforcements after that. I make sure and I welded it extra good this time. In the middle of working them, we had to stop and do it once Dunbar actually knocked the head gate off. I had to weld it back up and start over. So didn't take me very long. I'd done it before. Lesson learned, noted on that. Dunbar is strong too, and you get a bull like him. He's not as big as Big Joe, but you get a big stout animal like him, and he bounces around in it and shakes a little bit. It doesn't take much, but I think we got it down this time. But I'm gonna show you that footage too at the end of this video. These three right here need to get out, and I've got to keep those two right there. Got Bellstar and Dakota. I really have to get Dakota in there. She's a great cow. Remember, last year she didn't have a calf, or sorry, it'd be this year she didn't have a calf because she was sick last summer towards the end of the fall. But man, she's come a long way and she looks tremendous now. And then Bellstar, she had her first heifer this year, and so I got to get them warmed and take care of. In case you guys want to know what crazy, stressed out bison look like, right here. Nose bleeding, a lot of panning. There's a reason why we couldn't get Dakota caught, because you can tell, look at all this behavior. She is stressing out. She's our craziest for sure. She's one of the cows that we got from the Qualpaw Nation. several years ago. They had our first 2 babies, but she's stressed out, and I don't know. This is how it goes sometimes. Bellstar's normally not so crazy. She's pretty calm, but they're getting all worked up. She's getting worked up because of Dakota there. So I'm just gonna get away from them and let them calm down for now. I'm gonna give them some feed. See if they'll calm down some. Running themselves ragged. As we're gonna work these 2 right here, we're gonna work Dakota and Bellstar. Now that I got them separated, Kevin and I are gonna just work them. You got 2 of them. Us 2 can just handle it for now, and then we're gonna work Big Joe later. Hey, how did you, what do you do? I also want to just let you guys know, you notice whenever we work the bison here at our place, it's very difficult for me to actually talk. Anytime you work these bison, or if I'm traveling and working bison, especially here, it is a very high intense, high stress place, not only for me, the people with me, my wife, Kevin, Boone, and these animals, of course. It's a very high stress activity for sure. I know some of you even get worked up by watching some of my videos when we work them. So if I don't talk during it, I apologize. That's why I have to do stuff before and at the end. I'm trying to do better about it. I may start mounting a GoPro to my chest and you can hear me talk and all sorts of those things. But I'll try to explain the best to you that I can. I just can't do it when I'm working these animals because I've got to keep my focus on them. I got to keep my focus on the people working with us. And I want to keep those animals safe. And we want to keep their stress level as low as possible when we work the bison. So I'm sorry if I don't talk during the video. That's why, because I am stressed out. And when you get done working these animals, and I know a lot of bison people can answer this, or any type of like, even when you work cattle, the people understand that it is so stressful because you want to take care of those animals and you want them to be safe and nobody get hurt and no animals get hurt. You're just dead tired when you're done. You're so tired because of the stress that you go through. So anyways, I like showing this to you, and I hope that you enjoy what you see and enjoy this right here. Is that as high as it gets?
Yeah.
On its neck?
Yeah.
Okay. Here. Don't break my heel. Needs one more knot.
You ain't gonna get it. I still Here we go.
Oh.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to. Where's that how it got out last time? So here are some welds welded to it. There's 3 main welds. Then we had to take the crash gate here and put on the new head gate, which worked great, and hopefully that was a positive for sure. Problem was when I was welding to the actual head gate, it's painted. As you can tell, this is, I just painted this myself, and some of this metal came like that, but this is a thick coat of paint on this head gate, and when I was welding it, it wasn't going on very good, and I kept going, and I didn't heat it up enough. So what we did was after we were working them and Dunbar broke or knocked the head gate off, I came through and I grinded the paint off, and then I welded to it. So I had something to really weld to, and I could really heat up this metal and get it attached. But I think it'll be it's pretty secure now, and it'll be good to go. So hopefully we don't run into that problem ever again. Hey, it's all right, Big Joe. Try to take care of you, brother. All right, so we're gonna try again on Big Joe. Don't know how it's gonna go. Could be interesting. We got a hot shot this time, and I don't know. We'll try. We've got help today. We got Mama and we got Brooks bundled up. It's a little chilly today, and we got Kevin. So we're gonna give it a go with Big Joe. I really want to see how much he weighs. This is where he stopped last time, and we couldn't get him to go all the way through the tub and through here. So we're gonna try again. I got the GoPro strapped to my chest so you can see it up close and personal if he does anything. Can you latch that? Hey, buddy. There he goes. He hit it. Hey. It's all right, Big Joe. I'm trying to take care of you, brother.
Don't even get behind that gate right there.
Well, that didn't take much. Are you gonna open this one? Thank you guys for watching. Another disappointing time to not be able to get Big Joe worked. It's awesome having him here, an animal like him, and we're lucky because he is an awesome bull. But the bad part, like I said in one of my previous videos when we worked the Bison out, was the bad part is he's never been through one of these. He's never been through an alley system, never been through a squeeze chute at all. So you take an animal that size at that level and you try to put him through one of these that's never been through it, and that's tough. You know, animals like Dunbar here, and he's a good sized bull, but Dunbar's been going through these since he was a calf. And he started at Doc Parsons' place in Stratford, which is where I got my first 5. Those animals were handled. Those animals went through a squeeze chute. And Big Joe and those 2 ladies had never been until they got here. Now the 2 ladies, Kit and Flo, they went through this great last time that we worked the entire herd. But I don't know. We're gonna have to we're definitely gonna have to beef up our corral. We're gonna have to beef up our handling alley system that we have here with the blackout. We're gonna have to put in some new gates and stuff because he was bouncing off those gates pretty good. He was actually pretty worked up this time. I don't know what was going on with Big Joe. This time he was a lot more excited than he was last time. He knew something was up when you start going in there and opening the gates and letting them through and trying to push them. He knew something was up. So we're gonna do safeguard pellets now. That's our only option because I wanna make sure we get that guy taken care of. And that's what the original owners used to do. So we're gonna get him safeguard pellets, and that's fine. That's okay. At least we're doing something. I wanted to get some triangle tin inning like I did the rest of the herd, but glad we got the other 2 worked. of the big herd, we got Dakota and Bellstar worked, and that was fast and easy. And that all went well. Just Kevin and I, just me and him, rounding them up and worked them and got that done in like 10 or 15 minutes. Big Joe, on the other hand, another problem. Something to just work on. Sometimes it just doesn't go as planned as you want, and that's okay because that's part of raising animals. Thank you guys for watching, and I can't tell you the weight on Big Joe yet. We will someday. I don't know. Hopefully we'll someday. I sure would love to get him on some scales. That would be really nice. But in the meantime, thank you guys for watching. Hit that subscribe button, guys. We're raising the American bison here in southern Oklahoma. What an amazing animal. Always doesn't do what you tell him to do. Never goes that way. You can try, but as you can tell. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys already haven't, check out my website at crosstimbersbison.com. I've got some hats on there. I've got some new gear coming. I've got some I got a new t-shirt that's coming out here pretty soon. You can go on there and check that out if you ever want to order any merchandise from our website, and you can join our local bison herd here in southern Oklahoma. Thank you guys. Then we'll just do this. Hey guys, it's Dusty Baker, Cross Timbers Bison. Welcome back. Watching a story about the American bison. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button, guys. You're gonna want to follow this because we raise the American bison. It's America's mammal, and I get to be around these awesome, majestic animals and guys like this right here. Big Joe, awesome big old bull. Had an opportunity to get Feisty Kit and then old Flo. So anyways, today, you guys know, for the second time we tried to work Big Joe, didn't work out. That's a problem with animals like this, is they've never been through a squeeze chute, they've never been handled before. And in that sort of situation, like we were trying to do, or like we do every fall and every spring to our animals, is we run them through a squeeze chute, and we vaccinate them, we worm them, and take care of them that way. Get them new tags whenever they need it. These animals have never been through it, so Joe wouldn't do it. When you're messing with an animal of his size, you get a little nervous, and it wasn't worth it. He started acting kind of scary in a way, being as big as he is, and he had never really been in this situation very many times. So we just scratched it for the second time. It ain't worth it for somebody to get hurt, and we just put him back in here. So third try, what we're gonna do is, I bought some Safeguard range cubes, and basically they're just wormer cubes, and you can use this. It's made for dairy or beef cattle. They even make pellets for smaller animals like sheep and goats. And this is another way that you can worm your animals if you aren't able to run them through a squeeze chute or anything like that. And the other good thing about why I feel comfortable about this is because, first of all, we've got to get these cubes in this big fella. We've got to get them in him. The female's got the wormer, but Big Joe still hasn't got it. So here's the deal. The positive thing about this, and why I got these cubes, is kind of a last resort. I don't want to dart him. You can dart these animals. I really don't want to do that. I can actually see when they eat these cubes and know that they're ingesting them and that they're actually going through their system and they're being wormed. Here's the positive thing, is he's already had these before. I know the previous owners fed it straight out of their hand. Hey, buddy. So, something else I didn't mention I was going to do today. Kevin and I have been doing some fence building and made a little lot. I've got the other herd pinned away. Today, I'm going to let out Big Joe and the ladies. We got a small lot here, and I'm going to let them out and give them some room to run a little bit. We'll see how it goes. I'm kind of excited to do this, but also I'm a little nervous. It's always a good test of your fence. Anytime I let Bison out, they always check your fences. They check the corners, and just want to make sure you're doing your job. And so we're going to let Big Joe and the ladies out here. I just hope I can get him back in with feed. We'll give this a go and try it. So wish me luck. I just don't think they get or understand that the gate is open down there. It's because they never hardly been out of this pen besides when we tried to work them, so they're a little confused. I don't know if I should push them or just let them go. They'll just figure it out. That's probably safer, right? Probably a lot safer with you. Big brewski, big bruiser. So the goal is, this is one of our smaller lots here next to the silo lot, but the goal is to, down in the main pasture, it's a pretty decent sized lot here. We're gonna divide it up because the goal is to eventually do some rotational grazing, which is what I wanted. And then when we had an opportunity to get Big Joe and the two ladies, things changed a little bit. Obviously, the main reason is because we can't have Big Joe and we can't have Dunbar in the same place. So we're changing it up a little bit, and we're still gonna be able to do this rotational grazing. We got some things to figure out, but I want to get them on more ground, and especially when grazing season comes, March or May, I want to be able to get these guys out on some grazing. But we just can't have Dunbar and we can't have Big Joe touching noses. That's the main thing. We've got to be able to get these guys on some grazing land without Dunbar and Joe touching noses. So I think we're going to be able to get it set up to where we can have the big herd in one lot and Big Joe and the ladies in another lot. Try to do some rotational grazing. Still got some more fence to build, but that's the next big project. And if we're doing that, that means we're going to have to install some water systems, which is my other big project, lots of projects that I need to do. And so once we get the water system established, get the fence built, I will be able to do some rotational grazing. And hopefully by that time, these guys will be able to do some grazing. So still have some more. We got some couple months to go. We still got to get through winter and wait till that green grass starts showing up in April and May, and these guys will be grazing. Of course, Dunbar's not happy. Shocking. Guys, just to give you a size of this bull, these are 6.5 foot tall T-posts. They're driven in the ground, maybe a foot or so. So this is at about my chin level, and I'm 6 foot. So his hump is just over that fence. If you're at Yellowstone National Park, do not do this. My animals are different than the ones out in Yellowstone or places like Custer State Park. Mine have spent a lot of time around humans. Maya, what do you think? Yep, that's what I thought. I did too. Okay, since I have Big Joe and the two ladies out here in a lot, I'm gonna go ahead and try to see if they will eat these Safeguard cattle cubes, like I'm pretty sure that they had at their previous place. We'll see how this goes. They're just like mine that I normally feed the bison, but mine are just 14% cattle cubes. Hey. So this is a good sign. So if this is what we have to do to keep some warmer and Big Joe, then we'll just do that. He obviously likes them. It's candy to my bison, but Joe is eating them up by the handfuls. I need to do a little bit more research and to see actually how much I need to give him. Now I'll probably could just go and pour this in his feed trough and that would be fine and he would eat it up. But this is and this is okay too. I know a lot of people can't hand feed their bison, especially on big ranches where they don't see people as near as much. But if this is what we're able to do, then we'll just do this. Something else I wanted to share with you, exciting. Kevin and I built another fence. This is kind of like a big lane, not necessarily an alley, but maybe like a lane. We use field fence. We set our H-posts, I welded those together, and then came back through and we used, like I said earlier when Big Joe was up here, 6.5 foot tall T-post. And then we came back with a 4.5 foot field fence is what a lot of people call it. These areas get smaller and smaller and it goes up to, I believe this is a 6 by 6 inch, and this will keep bison in, guys. Now you don't want to work your bison in this, obviously, because if they get into it or get in a fight or smash into it, they will kind of bend it up and stuff, and you can just repair it. But we've got barbed wire. We always put a strand of barbed wire underneath on the very bottom, and then if you have room, you can, we like to do two, but we got this 4 foot field fence instead. Normally I believe it's a little over 3 feet. I don't know the measurements, but we got this tall stuff this time, and we put one strand up here. We like to put two, but the way it worked out, I think when we build more fence, it depends on where it's at. We really had to try to keep this closed. That's when we put the field fence up, because we're going to be able to move the bison in and out. So this is where it comes from. There's where Big Joe and the ladies are normally in their lot. They're out here hanging in this one right now. they would come down and it'd run through here, and this is where we actually work the bison. So we're going to be able to move bison around. If we need to pull them out of the big pasture, we're going to bring them in here. And this lot too, where my main herd is right now, we're going to put up some panels here over this big concrete slab, and we're going to be able to move the bison in and out by using this lane right here. But if you ever want to build fence, that's one of the big questions I always get for bison is, can you just do barbed wire and field fence? Yes, you can. You can do it right here. And you can see right there, that's a probably smaller or average size cow, which is what Flo is. Joe, his back was up to here at least. We hung a gate here, 12-foot gate, so we can take them into this lot or run them through here. But you can do this. This will work for a bison. You won't want to work your bison in something like this, but you'll be able to at least keep them there so that they can graze and do their thing. If you're going to get rough and rowdy with bison, you got to have it secure, like our main area here, where it is all completely piped up from here to here. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. It's exciting to get these guys finally out after doing some fence building, to get Big Joe and Kit and Flo out here and get them a little bit more room. That's exciting. And then it's always good to see Big Joe. And the most important thing is that we're taking care of him and trying to get some of these cubes in them with some warmer in them. So trying to get that taken care of and make sure that he's healthy. So thank you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed to us, you can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Facebook. Guys, we're raising the American bison right here in southern Oklahoma. Yeah. What do you think about that guy? I kind of wonder what he thinks about you, but he's been mostly all talk and you've been pretty chill. We got to keep this safe distance between you two. What the heck are you doing out here? Huh? Hey guys, it's Dusty Baker, Cross Timbers Bison. Welcome back to our channel. Check this bad boy out right here. Heck yeah. You know, if I've got this, I'm doing some serious work. Yes sir, we're building some fence, but first I gotta get some brush out of the way, some trees out of the way. I've driven one of these things before and it's one of the funnest things you can ever operate. And if you've ever operated one of these before, you know what I'm talking about. So, time to get to work. Got a big project going. Gonna build this fence to fulfill one of my goals, which is rotational grazing. I've been wanting to do that, and we're gonna do it right here, right now, beginning process. Push some timber out of the way. We got the auger attachment also to drill holes. Got some rock out here on this property, so we're gonna drill some holes. The big machinery will be over with. I'll set the pipe, weld the H-braces together, stretch a line, set the T-post, come back through, run our barbed wire. We'll have a fence. Got to hang some gates too. We're gonna put 2 gates up. The purpose of this is to do rotational grazing. A big thing that what we're doing here, so that Big Joe and the ladies can have their own lot, and we can rotate actually both herds around with Big Joe and the ladies, and then Dunbar and all the females that he has. That herd, my big herd, will be able to rotate these animals around by doing what we're about to do. Stay tuned, guys, and I hope you're in for a treat. Let's get to work. Okay, just so you guys know, there's a row of trees right here that existed from this farm that was already here, an old dairy farm. So there's an old tree line here, and then it comes down here. That tree line is okay. I'm gonna put the fence on the other side here. So I've gotta clear this whole row out because our fence is gonna go right on the other side. Plus, I just don't like these shrubby trees. There's crap in there. There's an old fence in here that I've gotta tear out. So that's probably one of the tough spots about this. And I gotta pile it all up and make a burn pile for later. But I gotta clean this out and gotta get that fence out. Plus it's just not safe for the bison, and put our new fence in. It's time to start clearing some brush. This is my first time to do this. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm really excited. Riding this thing is awesome. I mean, I gotta get me one of these. I got to get me one of these. Probably can't afford it for sure, but I'd love to have one. What the heck are you doing out here? Huh? Why did you just knock them down? Hell no. Well, I'm having fun, and apparently Dunbar is too, so this is great. This is working out. Woo! This thing is awesome. I absolutely love driving this sucker. It is. I'm kind of figuring it out a little bit. I've never done this before, but you really see how powerful this thing is. I'm not trying to do a promotional video or anything either, I promise you. GP doesn't sponsor me, or I don't get stuff free from them. I just like supporting local companies, local businesses, and good people. This is fun, clearing this stuff out. Like I said, it's an old fence line. You can see those old, got some field fence right here, and then a couple strands of barbed wire. There's no telling how old this is from this old dairy farm, but the bison are enjoying it. Of course, they're always curious. Say hi to Eleanor. Eleanor, she's hanging out with everybody, but they love playing with cedar trees. As you can tell there, they beat a bunch of these cedar trees up. But bison are so curious, they want to see what's going on, so they're just down here watching me and hanging out. But it's going great. I got started late this evening, so I'm kind of figuring it out. It's taken me a minute. Some of these trees, I got to get it up pretty high. Once I lean the trees over, I can get underneath it with the front end of this sucker and really use these teeth here on the front end of this loader and get up under there and really root these guys out and push them. Once I get them all pushed over, I'm just basically going to stack them up and get them out of the way, and we'll burn them in the future. Always stop. It's nice to stop and see the bison hanging out on a pretty sunset here. I'm excited to see how this looks and open this place up a little bit and then build our fence. We're going to call it a day. As the sun's going down, it's getting dark. And then I'm going to be back out here in the morning and clean this out. Then I'm going to start drilling the holes, and I may find some stuff to do with this on the farm while I'm here. There's always stuff to do with machinery like this for sure. All right, we'll see you guys in the morning. All right, good morning, guys. Welcome back. I had a blast on this thing yesterday evening. This sucker is fun. Kind of something I thought of early this morning. I rented this thing. You got to use it while you have it. I rented it for all weekend. You got to go and you got to use it up, use it as much as you can since you rent it. But thought of something this morning. It was early, and it reminded me of when I was in football. You know, strength and conditioning. You know, the boys would come in and they would work out early in the morning. And I remember our strength coach, Coach Roberts, he would come in and he would say, "Let's get excited. Let's get excited." Of course, to a bunch of 16, 17-year-old boys at 6:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, they weren't too excited to get up and lift weights, I promise you that. But he's a great strength coach, and I could talk about that forever. But it made me think about, let's get excited. I don't even have to hear that. I don't have to get that motivation from him this morning, because I've got that right there, and I get to do this. So no motivation needed when you have a big toy like this. It is absolutely fun. So with that, I got all of this pushed yesterday. Guys, I'm like halfway through. I didn't even realize that. I'm going to continue clearing this out. Going pretty good. I'm figuring out pushing it over the top and then getting underneath and rooting it out has been pretty successful for me. But basically, this is what our result is. Here's the bad part, is we've got a bunch of this in it. So this old fence, no telling how long it's been here. And so that's part of it, what I'm dealing with. And I got to be careful and pay attention so that nothing gets caught up in the skid steer, especially that barbed wire. But what a beautiful morning. It's frosty this morning. It's beautiful. The frost is on the bison this morning, and it's a good morning so far. So I got to get to work. And then once I'm done with this front end loader here, or this bucket, then it's time to hook on to the auger, our 9-inch bit. Kevin's going to join me. We're going to start digging holes for our fencing to set our pipe in the ground where we'll make our H braces, and we're going to hang gates. So stay tuned, guys. I hope you enjoy the day. Maya, you ready? Huh? You ready? Well, got it all cleared out finally. Actually didn't take me long, a lot shorter than I thought it was going to, but I got it all cleared out and I got it piled up right here. There's a bunch of what we call pisellums. I don't know if that's the correct term, but pisellums, some hackberries. There was some cedar in here. Like I've said, the bad part was there was an actual fence in here, and this is what's left, which is awesome. So we'll take care of this later and we'll burn it. Cleaned out a bunch of other cedar trees that was out here in the pasture. So we're gonna go straight across here. We got an auger to put on the front of this Kubota, this implement, and then we'll dig the holes. We got to get them at least 2 feet. If you can get 3, this is a rocky place. We'll have to go through the rock, so it's kind of hard sometimes. Takes a little bit to dig these holes, but that Kubota will help a bunch. Like I said, my goal and the idea is to have a lot. See, you can see the main barn up there. Big Joe and the 2 ladies are over here in this area. I've got the main herd locked up right now because I'm out here working. So it'll come across here. We'll have a lot here, a lot in this side, and this is my latest one. I built that this past spring. You can go back and watch one of my videos of how we build fence, which we're about to do that again. So we've got that one. We'll have this one and this big lot here. I'm not sure acreage how many it would be. I want to say it's probably maybe 3 or 4 acres a lot, and the idea will be to rotate these animals, you know, like every 8 days or something like that. Just try to keep them moving. That's the goal with Big Joe and the ladies as a herd, and Dunbar and that big herd as their own herd. It's going to be a little bit difficult to rotate, but we're gonna figure some stuff out, and I think we'll do the best we can as long as they're both getting some good grass when the grass hits in the spring and in the summer. So next thing, just dig the holes, and then we'll set the pipe. We'll put it in concrete. Usually takes about 2 bags. We use a 60-pound concrete, bags of concrete, and we like to let them set for a couple days, at least 2, because we really like to pull or stretch this barbed wire really tight and make sure it is good and it is on there. So we'll let the pipe set and start building the actual fence, which is nice, and we'll hang our gates. So I'm gonna have a gate right here, and then we're gonna have another 10-foot gate down there, and that will help with rotation, or if you ever have any issues or anything, it's great to have at least on every corner you have a gate, so that will be nice and handy. So stay tuned. Next thing, so we're going to dig some holes, set the pipe. That really is the toughest part, and then the rest of it is usually one of the smoothest processes, which is getting the T-post in, stretching the barbed wire. There's a lot of things we can avoid. I wish we could have avoided that, obviously, to lose our first heifer calf. Hey guys, it's Dusty Baker, Cross Timbers Bison. Welcome back to our channel. If you're new to us, hit that subscribe button. And if you have already, that's awesome. Thank you guys for joining us. So today's video, guys, this is a heartbreak video for me, and it's the first time I've actually ever gone through this. I know a lot of I know a lot of livestock people have gone through this before. Anytime you own animals, any type of animal, it doesn't matter what type of animal it is. It could be a dog in your home, or a cat, or any type of domestic animal. You go through these situations. Well, sadly, we've lost our first calf that I've ever lost. The worst part of it, it was the very first heifer that we ever had here on the Cross Timbers Bison Ranch. We have one heifer left right here. And then we've got Eleanor's little bull here. So first of all, let me go ahead, and you're probably wondering, what in the world is Eleanor doing in here? So Eleanor is in here because, well, if you don't, this rooster is really active. Dude, it is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. If you guys don't know who Eleanor is our sweet, innocent, nice bison cow. She's had 1 calf. This is her little guy right here. But Eleanor, you're probably looking at her and going, man, she is short. What's wrong with her? Yes, I don't know. Actually, when she was a cow, when she was a yearling and we went and bought her, she was one of the actually best looking ones. Honestly, I don't know, because the same ones we bought were the same size as Eleanor. Actually, she was the biggest one in the group. Anyways, Eleanor is our sweet bison. She will come up to you. She's not coming up to me right now, but you can hand feed her. You can be out in the middle of the pasture and she'll come up to you and basically eat out of your hand. I've only got 2 or 3 that'll actually do that, but Eleanor, she's the most gentle. She works the easiest, and she's very cooperative with everything that we do. Well, one of the reasons why she's in here is because the big herd over here, the big herd has been pretty rough on her lately, because she is different, and because she is smaller, and she is a different type of bison than the rest of the herd. They treat her differently, and unfortunately, part of that hierarchy system and that rank system, she's the sweetest, but she's at the very bottom. So because she's at the bottom, she gets kicked around, she gets pushed around some, and it sucks, because she is a sweet cow, but that is part of the business that we're in. So unfortunately, we've got Eleanor in here right now. We're gonna try to get her some weight gain. We're gonna try to get her back up, going. She's doing fine. There's nothing major wrong with her. She's fine, but we're gonna pin her up here with the calves. And the reason we have to put her with these 2 calves is because you can't put these animals by themselves. And you're saying, well, just put her in there with Big Joe and the 2 ladies. Well, I'm gonna tell you something, and it may throw you off a little bit, but there's a couple of reasons why I can't put Eleanor with Big Joe and Kit and Flo. Okay, so now that I've told you about Eleanor, let me tell you what happened. So Kevin, if you guys don't know who Kevin is my stepdad. Kevin helps me take care of the bison. He's had a lot of experience his entire life raising livestock, and he's also had experience raising bison as well. Been around bison, handled bison before, and a lot of exotic animals. Well, Kevin came home one day, he pulled up and he saw one of the calves stuck in between the gate and our continuous fence panels, and she had 1 foot, she had 3 feet on the ground and 1 kind of above some chain. Let me show you kind of where she was. I didn't film anything of her after she was dead, but let me just kind of show you how she was whenever she was found. Okay, so we've got these animals here in this smaller lot. Here's one of the reasons they're in this smaller lot, because these calves are being weaned. We had 3 calves in 2020. We had 2 heifers, and we had a little bull, Eleanor's little bull. And we put them in here, and one reason that we put them in this area is because this is tough. This is my new continuous fence panel pen. It's raised up high, and it's tough, and it's very durable. So what we did is we put the calves in here to keep them safe, because when they're calves, they want to get out, and they want to they want to get close back to mom, and so there is a little separation anxiety. What we did was we had to put them in here because they do try to get out, and this stuff is really tough. Okay, so before this panel was here, you can kind of see a gap between the gate and the actual continuous fence. So, and this is ideally, this needs to be a lot closer, and I didn't do a very great job of it. I mean, there's about 6 inches between this gate here and the continuous fence. Obviously you want it closer, and that's my fault. I didn't do a very good job of setting the post closer, so this 10-foot gate would be closer to here. So when Kevin came home, her head was stuck in between there. Now remember, this wasn't here, guys. There was just one chain that's chained to the gate right here. This is next to Big Joe and the ladies. Her head was in between here, and I think he said she had 1 foot up in there and 3 on the ground. And here's what I think is what happened. And I've talked to him about it, and I know stuff like this just happens. Anytime you raise livestock, I know stuff like this happens. And there's a lot of things that you can avoid, and there's a lot of things that you just can't. Just crazy stuff happens. And I know there's probably lots of stories that you guys have if you've raised livestock about losing animals or animals getting hurt, and then you have to put them down. But in this situation, it's pretty gruesome and pretty rough. And this tells you about these animals and their capability and just their social life, just what kind of animals they really are and how different they are than most livestock that people raise. She got her head in here. She could have been grazing on some of this green grass at the edge of your fence, just like most animals would do. She got her head in here, and in between here, raised up. You know, something may have spooked her or what, but her neck, because she's just a calf, got in between here and got her head stuck in there, and then started to panic. And once they start to panic, they make a lot of commotion, just like any animal would. Made a lot of commotion. I'm sure may have started making noises because of struggling and wanting to get out, and nothing was here to get her out. And so when she got in there and those signs start happening, nature takes over. Unfortunately, this is where I called and I asked about this. When Kevin saw her, he looked at Joe and it looked at Kit, one of the other cows over here. You got Big Joe and Kit, and they had blood. Big Joe had blood all over his head, and Kit, the cow, had blood all over her head. Tells you one thing. And then he told me the heifer that was stuck here, the heifer calf, she had blood on her head and she looked like she'd been beat pretty bad. So I called Doc Parsons, because he's the guy I always talk to about these sort of incidents, and he's been around bison a long time, and that's the first person I called. I told him the situation, I explained it to him, and he basically told me that once the animal is hurt or is starting to panic, in a panic situation, the adults will actually take them out. And what I mean by that is we'll kill them and basically kind of put them out of their misery. It's probably a hard way of saying it, but that's just what it is. I think that's what happened. Heifer got stuck, and Joe and Kit, after the heifer calf was freaking out and panicking, I think Joe and Kit finished her off, and she couldn't do anything about it because her head was trapped in this gap here. And I think they just kind of put her out of her misery. It's very descriptive, and that's very hard for me to accept. It was hard for me to listen to Doc talk about it. That's just the truth, unfortunately, how these animals are. And it's a bit scary, but there's something about these animals that's very unique and different, and this is part of the business that we're in, and I still love and care about these animals, and this is just, unfortunately, this part of it. There's a lot of things we can avoid. I wish we could have avoided that, obviously. To lose our first heifer calf, we have to accept it and we have to move on. So I know a lot of you are probably wondering, what in the world, why would they do that? There's no way. Guys, go watch some Yellowstone footage of how they treat the lower system, their lower hierarchy animals. Go on there and watch. You can see there's some good documentaries out there, and there's some good footage of the social life of these animals and how they treat each other. And I know there's a video out there I've seen where they actually, it looked like a yearling was injured by a wolf, actually kicked it out of the herd, and that yearling was actually killed by a wolf after they kicked it out of their herd and back to the wolves after it ran away. It's very interesting behavior. It's unfortunate behavior, but that's how these animals are, and it's just a learning curve for us. And I know we're going to lose animals every now and then. I've already been down that road. I've lost one because in a trailer hauling them back and forth. I lost a yearling 2 years ago. She was gored right here in towards her lungs, right behind her shoulder blade. She was killed. I've taken them to the vet. So crazy stuff happens. That was hard, but this one's really hard because it's one of our calves. You know, it's sad because it is a calf, and it was our very first heifer to ever have on the Cross Timbers Bison farm. I know that's not exactly what you want to hear when you kind of watch Cross Timbers Bison. You know, there's a lot of good things that happen, guys, and I'll try to catch all that for you. Unfortunately, there's bad things that can happen too, and that's probably the worst thing that could happen. One is all the animals get out, which that's happened before, and luckily they were all safe and we brought them all back in. Thank you to Dunbar, letting the whole herd out. So if there's anything worse than your whole herd getting out, this has got to be the worst thing. Is actually losing an animal has got to be the worst. We'll learn from trying to avoid those situations. Sometimes you can't avoid them. Thank Kevin for his help, and thank you for looking out. The good news is, I'm gonna leave you with a positive, because as a coach and a teacher, I always want to try to leave with a positive, always. So here's my positive. We could have up to 6 calves this spring or early summer. We could have up to 6, I think we have. And I haven't had a preg check, and just by looking at them, looking at some signs that I've learned over the little while in that group, hopefully we'll have some heifer calves. And this was Belle Star's baby. Belle Star is my feisty cow. Belle Star is one of the first 5 from my original herd, and I'm pretty sure that this was her calf, unfortunately. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna leave you with that positive note that we should have 6 calves this year, and I'm excited for Kit and Flo, the new cows, with Joe, to have their calves as well. They'll probably be actually the first 2. According to the original owner, they would have them in May, and that will be our April, May, actually. That will be our first 2, hopefully. So thank you guys for watching. I want to say I hope you enjoyed the video today, and it's not the news that you want to hear. It's not the news I want to bring to you. It's unfortunate, and we'll move on from it, and we'll just try to do a better job in the future and try to prevent those things and try to take care of these animals as good as we can. Thank you guys for watching us. You guys take a look online. This is one of my new hats that you guys can purchase. I've got a couple more out there. I've got a black one and a navy one. So if you guys are interested, you can go online and start purchasing these hats now. They are on sale on the crosstimbersbison.com website. You can check it all out right there. Here is some of the last footage that I have of the calf. Hey guys, welcome back. Got everything cleared. Kevin and I dug the holes with the skid steer using that 9-inch auger bit. I had to take that back, so unfortunately I don't have that anymore. But man, I love the 2.5 days I had with it. What a great tool, especially on a farm. We always dig them at least 2 feet deep, and we cut our pipe here. I've got a 2 7/8 pipe. We always set them at least 2 feet in the ground. We like to, and we use concrete, especially for our corners. We drive the post in the ground sometimes, but I am going to set the post, get them in concrete, usually use about 2 bags of concrete, and we just mix them in water with the holes. You've probably seen me do it before around our corral. So we're using our 2 7/8 pipe. I'll have to let them set for at least 2 days, maybe even 3 days. You really want to make sure they're set, because when you put a lot of tension on these posts with that barbed wire, when you start pulling on it, it can move. So you want to make sure that this is set and that these posts are completely set in that concrete and dry before you start stretching that fence. After we get the post set, we'll have to come back and we'll weld up our H braces. We'll do our crossbar across our H's, and then it will be time to stretch the fence and start stretching some barbed wire on here. So I did haul some water down here because more than likely on those H's over there, I'm gonna need water here. I don't have to have it. Got all the T-posts, lots of concrete bags. These are 60-pound bags that we like to use. Okay, you guys are probably wondering, why the heck is this hole so big? Well, here's the reason. Because this hole is way too big. But here's the problem. This is what we deal with down here. You really can't see. But look at all that. That is rock. That's just from that hole. I mean, but you're dealing with big rocks like that. And I dug it. I started out by hand, and then I got the auger and did it. But down here we have lots of rocks in this area. Not really on the surface, we have some, but so that's what we're dealing with. That right there is just a pile of mud and rocks, and when you're using that auger, sometimes you got to do the best you can to get the rocks out, and we have to crank on it a bunch using the rock bar. But ideally we don't want this to happen. This is way too big a hole. I've already used 4 sacks of concrete. I can already tell you I'm going to have to use at least 1 more, and so that's what we're dealing with here. Sure that they are straight as possible. So what if I'm doing this, there's something I have to do. I got to lock the Bison up. So I've locked the Bison up and a holding area up where the silos are in our main area, because I can't let them out here for at least a day, because the first thing they'll do is they'll come rub on these. That's just how they are. It's just Bison. They'll come rub on these posts, and of course, you know what happens after I spent all this time putting this concrete in these holes. You know exactly what they'll do. They'll bend them, they'll push them, and of course our H's will be off, our posts will be off, and then we are screwed. And we don't want to deal with that. So the Bison are gonna have to suck it up. We'll feed them hay and supplement feed, so they'll be fine. We'll keep them happy. So, but definitely have to keep your animals off, especially Bison, because they will turn these into a toy. The heck? I see my truck and I think it's feeding time. These are Larry's cows, our neighbor. Kind of up on a higher elevation now. Just got that side done. Our H is going to be in the middle. told you on this side, we wouldn't probably have much water in the hole. This one's got some, maybe about 8 inches deeper. So this one had some in it. I already mixed it up a little bit. This one doesn't have any. So I'm setting 4 here. And the reason is I'm setting 4 is I'm going to use a 2 3/8. This is just for the gate to latch. I'll put this up here. We'll kind of brace it up against this fence here. But the gate is just going to latch here. It's not going to hang on this. But we're using 2 7/8 here for the heavy stuff is what we're using. Because our gate is going to hang here, actually make our 10-foot gate. And we'll have another post. Then we'll have our short post with our angled down pipe for strength, and just to make sure when you stretch it and that fence is stretched this way, that angle is going to be coming down and it's going to brace it so that when these posts are pulled, or the pressure, not that the posts are pulled, but that the pressure is put on them, this will be stuck in the ground to give it some leverage against that pressure as we stretch the fence back that way. These cattle think I've got a feed when I shake the sack. Watch this. Sorry about it. Get back. Shoo. Peaches, get back. You're the one that always tries to get through the gates. Always. Jack wagon. I've told you before, but Peaches, anytime you go through the gate, you gotta watch her. She will sneak behind you when you're trying to get the welder through or bale of hay through. The first one, besides Dunbar, that try to get out. Welcome back. Today, we're doing the second part of this, which is gonna have a 10-foot gate right here. I've got it laying down here on the ground. Got to start welding up the H braces. Really the tough part of this is digging the holes and setting the pipe and making sure that they're straight. And then really, I think it's pretty easy from here on out. Besides driving the T-post, that's probably the hardest part. But you got to put some extra effort in that, especially if you're doing it manually. So got to weld up the H brace here, and then we have our downfall pipe here for that extra support as we stretch our fence. Got another H in the middle, and then we have our far H where we're going to put another 10-foot gate. So got some welding to do today. Then we'll stretch one strand of our barbed wire to the H here in the middle, and then from there you can actually line your T-post up, and then we'll be able to drive our T-post. And then after I get the T-post set, run that first strand of wire across the bottom. We line up our T-post that way. It gives us a straight line, and we'll drive our T-post in the ground, and then we'll come back and we'll start stretching all this wire. I think we're going to do 5 strands this time because it's an interior fence. All of our exterior fences are at least 6 wire, but on this 6.5 foot tall T-post, it's just going to be used as part of our rotation program. So, all right, here we go. All right, so got our H-brace welded up. Got our angle bar here for extra support. 2 feet in the ground, same as the post, but I think this extra brace, because that barbed wire is going to be pulled, and as it's pulled, it's going to put force down on these posts, and you don't want these H's to come out and be pulled, because we put a lot of pressure on that barbed wire as we stretch it down to those other H's. Just gonna touch it up a little bit and clean up the top of my post here. I'm gonna put some caps on it. It's a 2 7/8 cap. Just makes it look a lot better. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is gonna hang our 10-foot gate, and I'll be actually done here, and we'll be moving on to our other gate side to work on our H braces. Got my angle brace done, welded, H brace. Now it's time to put on our 10-foot gate. I don't know exactly the gauge on these things or how thick these pipe are, but I really like them. They come with this pre-hung heavy duty. That's a pretty thick heavy duty hinge there, and so we just weld the hinge to the pipe directly onto it, and we can pull them back and actually put them against the H's, because if you can't put your gate, if you can't attach it back to or tie it up against your H post, buffalo like or bison like Dunbar, he'll basically beat them up if they're hanging loose. But if they're tied up against an H brace, he won't do nothing with them typically. Even when they're tied up to the post, he doesn't bother them. But if they're hanging loose and they're not swung completely back against an H brace, he'll beat that thing up, and he's done that a couple of times and actually broke hinges before. If you've seen some of my videos in the past, he has broke hinges, and not good. So anyways, I'm gonna put up this gate here, this heavy duty gate. We'll be done with this here. Got the H on, which is, this is what is even better about this one. See my gap? I mean, that is close right there. You can't get this out of the way. I mean, that's awesome. That's where we want it to be. I mean, that's even pushing it, how close it is. But I'll be able to swing this all the way out and attach it to the H brace over there. Welder's in the way right now. This one was a lot easier for some reason, but that's how close it should be. Ideally, you're not going to have any problems. Nothing's going to try to get their head obviously through there. And then the other great thing is that level as can be. I'm going to wrap it up today. This is going to be it as far as putting gates on and welding up the H braces. Out here in the middle, we've had there was a lot of fires yesterday. The wind's not blowing today like it was yesterday, but this grass is super dry. And any little spark, I had a couple little fires I could get out with my foot, nothing too bad, but out there in the middle of Bermuda grass, it's really thick. And so I'm gonna wait until Kevin is here to help me do that, to weld that brace up. And then after that, we'll be ready to start stretching wire. All right, that wraps up today, and we'll get those things going. We'll get that H braced up, and then we'll start pulling fence, driving T-posts, that's probably my least favorite part, is driving T-posts, especially out here on the rock and getting those suckers level. We're getting close though. Hey guys. Glad you could join us. We're just taking a look at Dunbar right here. Hey Rebecca Davis. I was just in Missouri. Oh, okay. Nice welcoming, Dunbar. I was up in, Rebecca Davis asked what part of Missouri I was in. I was up in Butler, Missouri at the Modan Livestock Facility, livestock sale barn. So it's been a long time since I've done a live video. I just wanted to kind of catch up with you guys and say hi. It's been a minute. Hey Dunbar. Dunbar's coming to say hi to everybody. Catch you up on some things we've been doing. A lot of projects around here. Did some fencing. You can watch some videos. There's a new cross fence here, and then I've also got just established a water system. I got a water tank sitting right over there. We got our automatic water systems going for now too. So I'm excited about that as well. But got some questions about. Let's go back and see here. Steve asked, will you ever put the two groups together? I'm assuming you're talking about Big Joe and that herd. I will sort of kind of put them together. I'm going to move along with the herd just so you guys can follow along. It's a little safer in my ATV here. But so will I ever put them together? Big Joe and Dunbar will never be together. We can't have those guys together. They've already been giving me some fence problems because they're so close together. Sometimes they are. They can, I say so close together, but they get close enough to where Dunbar thinks he's a big dog and tries to contest with Big Joe, but he doesn't want to contest with Big Joe, I promise you. But so we'll never have Joe and Dunbar in the same area. We've got to keep them apart because they're bulls and we could have issues. If we had enough females, out on a lot of land, it'd be different, but we don't have that capability. So these guys will never be in the same pen together. But what I'm going to do is this summer, after calving season, probably towards June, or July, we're going to start switching some breeding around. We're going to switch some cows out with Big Joe, and we're going to switch Dunbar up some too. So we've got some things that are going to happen this summer. So, but the wind is blowing here, Susan. Sorry, guys. I'm out here in the open, and this is where they like to be. Gil from New Zealand. Hey, thanks for joining us so far away. Australia. Hey, Oddly. Thank you for watching. Katie from Wales. Hey, golly. You guys are pretty far away. Thank you for watching my channel. Sarah asked, have you been to Wyoming? I have not. Maybe just barely into Wyoming, but I really haven't been there or visited. I always wanted to go. I know that's big time bison country too. Sophia said Big Joe is so big can the girls really breed with him without being crushed? Yeah, I mean, I've got some pretty decent sized cows here, and that's probably what I'm gonna put with him, is some of these bigger cows. There's a yearling over there, she's smaller, so probably won't work out for her, but you'd be surprised what these cows can handle as far as breeding some of those big bulls. Just gonna move here, try to get out of this wind. The machine asked, any plans of processing buffalo meat? I've been looking for a place in Oklahoma that sells it straight from the farm. Well, that's a good question. That's kind of one of the big things that my wife and I have been talking about, is getting into the meat side of it. We don't have a very big herd right now, and it takes a long time to get to that point to where we can get into the meat side of things, and that is it's in the works, and hopefully we get there pretty soon. But yes, to answer your question and other questions about meat side of things, that's what's so great about these animals is I mean, we can sit here and look at them all day, but the meat is so healthy, low in cholesterol, low in fat. There's less fat in bison meat than there is chicken. High protein. It's good for your heart. It's just really healthy meat. And so, yes, I think at some point, hopefully soon, my wife and I, we're gonna get into the meat side of things. So we'll keep you updated on that. And answer your question, a lot of you may get freaked out. We will not be slaughtering any of these animals here, just so you know. This is my main herd, my foundation herd, my conservation herd. We will not be slaughtering these animals right here, I promise you. Alice in Wonderland, late to the party was red dog season. That is baby calves. We should have some baby calves. Maybe April, but probably May for sure. We'll have some babies. That's the red dogs. They come out real red colored. Gil asks, is the meat the main reason mainly why you farm them? A lot of people, yes, but we also raise them for breeding. I mean, this is a Grand Champion female I bought a couple years ago, and I think what she creates will be really good, and we're really excited, you know, for breeding. She's a nice heifer. She's from the Quapaw Nation, so we do breeding, and then we'll hopefully get into the meat side eventually. Gavin Reeder, can you make more videos? Yeah, I wish I could. I've thought about doing 2 a week. It's very hard with, we also run 10 rental cabins and a baby as well. We take care of, got our baby Brooks, so it's kind of difficult to do, but I've talked about doing 2 videos. And since you asked, I got a lot of footage, and I'm going to make quite a few videos over our water system. Did a lot of trenching out here, and we set some water tanks for our automatic water system, and that has taken a lot of work, and we're still wrapping that up. And so my point is we will have, I'm gonna do 2 videos a week, still gonna do Sundays, and I'm looking at maybe a Wednesday or a Thursday posting of the whole water project of installing automatic waters. So stay tuned for that. I'm gonna try to put out 2 videos a week. Yeah, Chief Crazy Horse. Now you can see why the natives who ate those animals were really healthy. You're right. They ate the best meat out on the native prairie land. Yeah, you can't get any better than that right there. Hey, Sally from Cape Town, South Africa. Thanks for watching. Machine, do you know of any places in Oklahoma that does sell meat from farm? Yes, I know quite a few guys, but I will say that Doc Parsons up in Stratford, Oklahoma, he does sell meat. I don't know what he has right now, but he does sell meat. And he sells it straight from his vet clinic there. Hey Sarah, where are you guys located at in Wyoming? Bass 167, you don't harvest the females, do you only the males? Yes, typically the primest meat is going to be males. It's going to be bulls. Now, a lot of people do slaughter females, but I don't think we'll be doing that. David asked, can you show Big Joe? Big Joe is way up here, down in the bottom here, hanging out with these guys as they're grazing. That green grass is starting to show up here. So I may get you up to Big Joe, but it'll take me a second. Christy Jones, are all of your girls bred? We'll see. I think my youngest heifer right here, I don't think she's bred. She just wasn't old enough yet and wasn't ready, but we'll see. Eleanor may be a question, but just by looking at some of these cows, I can tell that they're bred. This one's bred. Hopefully Peaches is bred. I hope so. I'm gonna get them preg checked here in about a month. How long do Katie T asks, how long do bison live for? Bison can live, golly, 20 plus years, healthy, and still be reproducing. Karen, I'm not gonna eat Big Joe. I never said I was gonna eat Big Joe. Come on, why would I get rid of Big Joe? He's a stallion. Hey Noah. So since Noah's on here, Noah Gordon, you guys can next week Sunday I will be posting a video over. Went with a friend, my wife and I and Brooks. We went up to Missouri, and a friend of mine got his first herd of animals, actually his second herd, but it's been a while since he's raised bison. He got out and he got back in. I'm gonna be posting a video over that journey of him getting some calves and starting a new herd on his land with his family, and so stay tuned for that here next Sunday. Newcastle, Wyoming. We'll look it up. We'd love to go. My wife and I love to travel. We'd love to go see some big bison places up there. Lisa from Colorado asks, how old is your oldest bison? My oldest bison is Joe now. He is 6 years old, I believe. But I haven't raised him his whole life. I've only had him for less than a year. Michael asks, what is your ultimate goal for the herd size? For this property, I think we're getting close to our limit. Maybe 20 is where we'll be here. You know, if we could have some more land, we'll be able to grow more. So it just really just depends on the land and having access to land. But I would love to have 40 or 50 plus animals. Wendy Wren, how long are the bison pregnant for? What the term or the time frame I always like to use is the same as a woman. It's about 9 to 10 months actually. Thank you for asking. Pamela Roden, are you going to plant cover crops for them to graze on? How does that work? People do different stuff here, but what this is Bermuda. This is not their favorite, but you can see where they've grazed and actually kept it down, and they're going for the fresh stuff here. This is a good cover crop, and it takes care of the soil. It's not our favorite. It's not the bison's favorite. We've got some native kind of over this way, but we don't really have to plant anything here. We're pretty lucky we have all this grass. Wildman 1314, do I eat bison? Yes, I ate some yesterday, and it was fantastic. Keep getting questions. Brian, will you switch out the girls between Dunbar and Big Joe? Yes, we're going to switch up some females this summer, and try to see what we can get out of Big Joe and what Dunbar can throw with these other cows, maybe. Stick string, do bison basically the same as cattle? Eat basically the same as cattle? If so, why does the meat taste differently? Yeah, but you know, these animals existed here. They've been here for hundreds of years, and it's a native meat, and they're just a different animal. They're made differently than cattle. They're a leaner animal. They're a tougher animal, and that's a good question, but I think these animals existed here and they've thrived here for hundreds of years, and this is the way they're made down. They've fed the natives for a long time, and I think that's just why they taste differently. Wyatt asked, how many bulls do we have? We've got Big Joe, we've got Dunbar, and then I've got a little bull calf up there, Eleanor's bull calf. I guess I'm saying her Eliana. That's how you say it. Do you send hides to a tannery for sale? Well, we haven't slaughtered any animals at all, but a lot of people do. I'd love to get, eventually, if we do start a meat market, we'll be able to tan the hides, but and sell the hides in the future, maybe. So hold on to that thought. No, it's a good question. The bear 5454, not to be nosy, but how long would it take before your herd shows a profit? Well, I sold my first 2 yearling bulls last November, and that took 2 years, but that's because I bought some bred heifers and I got there a little faster than normal. But it does take a while for bison. Bison can't breed till they're 2 years old. Then they breed, they carry that calf with them for 9 or 10 months, have the calf, and then you can't sell that calf until at least it's weaned. Or if you want to hold on to that calf and see how it does, you can wait longer, but the slaughtering age is 18 to 24 months. So you can be out with a calf for about or a production of 2 years before you can even ever have a profit just from one cow. If that answers your question. Wildman 1314, do bison on farms require barns or do they remain outside? They just remain outside. These animals we have a barn, an old barn that they get under when it's hot, but these animals don't need any sort of coverage. They're tough animals. Pamela, how many bison can you put on 800 acres? It depends on where you are and do you have a lot of this right here? And then also water. It just all depends. Brandon asked, do you have to assist with calving? Heck no, nor do I ever want to. That's the last thing I want to do is assist with calving. Whew, hopefully that'll never happen. Wendy asked, do bison have more than one stomach like cows? And goats are just one like horses. No, they have the same as cattle. That is kind of fuzzy, isn't it? Teresa asked, have you ever heard of twins being born? I've heard of it, but it's very rare for bison to have twins. I don't know what's up with the camera, guys. Wild man. Are the bison mooing? No, my neighbor is like right behind me, and he's got a lot of cattle, and he's out on his ATV, and they're definitely happy mooing. The bison, they're not, they don't move. Christy Jones, do you let people just come see your bison? No, we really don't do that here. We don't do tours or nothing like that quite yet. Maybe someday. Dina Martinez noticed you have a cow dog, but it doesn't seem to help out with the bison, or are they too wild for that? No, bison and dogs don't really get along. You have to have a special dog to really handle bison, but you don't ever see that combo there very often. Bison don't like dogs. Tom Adams, any issues with keeping the bison contained? Do they ride the fences? No. Not like cattle. Cattle will lean on fences. They'll try to stick their heads through it. But these bison don't. They stay pretty calm. We haven't had any fence issues. Just the only time we've had maybe some issues is when Dunbar and Big Joe get all riled up. They will rub on the fence and whatnot. But that's really the biggest problems that we've had. Mickey Gibson, do bison make any kind of sound? Yeah, they do. They will blow, they kind of grunt, and the bulls really make some noises. Big Joe needs more girlfriends. Yeah. I would love for Big Joe to have more girlfriends. I'd love for Dunbar to have more girlfriends, but you know, those animals, they cost money. Yes, Pamela, bison do have a more aggressive grunt. Yeah, good comment. Sean asked, will we be getting more girls for Big Joe? Just depends. We would like to have some more, but we don't really have the capability right now to get Big Joe out near Dunbar because we don't have any fights. But yes, we will expand here eventually. KDT, do you have a favorite bison in your herd? Well, of course, my favorite is Eleanor. She's the sweetest. I sure like Eleanor. Get in an RV. Do they ever get out and start roaming the neighborhood? Our cows would get out on occasion and act like complete fools. Well, the bison did get out last year. Dunbar ended up knocking a gate off the hinge and letting the whole herd out, but luckily people scrambled and we got them back here. So yes, they have got out before, but I would blame that on myself for not flipping the top hinge down on the gates. Alyssa King, sorry, I accidentally deleted your message. It was an accident, sorry. Dina Martinez, do you collaborate with national parks or areas low on natural bison to build herds? I do not yet, but I would love to have some national park animals. I actually do. I've got 4 from the Quapaw Nation, and I've got one of them is Teddy Roosevelt lineage from Teddy Roosevelt National Park. Sean asks, will your baby females from Dunbar go to Big Joe's area and vice versa? We've only got one female heifer calf from Dunbar. Remember, I lost one back in January, but yes, we will do that. We'll put them together. We'll put Dunbar's females with Big Joe at some point. Adam asks, are they easily to tame and be close to? It takes time to, I say easily tamed. You got to definitely spend time with these animals. But you can tame them down some, but once you pin them up and work them, it gets a little crazy. Sally asks, could you run bison and cattle at the same time in the same paddocks? I wouldn't. I'd keep them separate. I don't see a reason why I'm putting cattle with them. I mean, I guess you could, but I wouldn't put them together. Crystal Rudolph, when they get out, do you just have to shake a feed bucket and come back? If 1 or 2 of them will get out, you can do that. You can shake a bucket. If the whole herd gets out, it's not that easy. They're ready to go and see the country. Michael asks, which bison is your tamest and which one is your wildest? My tamest is definitely Eleanor. She's the sweetest. Tamest. Dunbar's pretty tame too, but you got to be careful around him. He's a big boy. The wildest is probably my Teddy Roosevelt cow right here. She was sick a couple of years ago. She can be a little crazy. I'm going to move real quick and try to get you guys a little bit closer. Connie asked, will you sell Eleanor's calf? We're not sure. We want to kind of let him grow up and see what happens to him. See how he looks. Nadine, why not sell Dunbar and let Big Joe have it all? Why sell Dunbar? What's wrong with Dunbar? Dunbar is a dark bull, and he comes from some really good genetics. He has came from a really good producer. So I kind of like having Dunbar. He's different. He's a good bull. He's good to us, and he's bred females. And I think it's cool to have two different bulls and two different genetics. Bruce, do they auction off bison from the Wichita Mountains Refuge over by Lawton? Yes, they used to, but they signed the Bison Initiative Act, and they only now trade or get rid of their animals, and they give them to the Intertribal Council tribes. So you can't, the public does not have access to the Wichita Mountains Refuge bison anymore, unfortunately, but I'd love to have some from there. Kevin, why not cross them with cows? Because we want to keep every gene possible that these animals have, like they had hundreds of years ago and have had. We don't want to cross them with cattle. Let's keep cattle, let's keep bison separate. We don't want beefalo. As part of the National Bison Association, is highly discouraged. And I promise you, if you ask any bison person that raises bison, you highly discourage breeding with cattle. We try to keep all the genetics that these awesome animals have, and if you bring cattle in this situation, you're going to lose all those awesome traits that these animals carry if you bring cattle into it. Troy said a bottle baby would be the best chance to tame and handle. Yes, however, those babies get big. Those bottle babies, they can be they can cause some problems because they can get big, and they can hurt people as they get older because they get used to people. They forget how big they are. They're not puppies or calves anymore. They're big, and they can actually hurt people. We've got 13 bison here. AMZSTR. Do you have to put up fly oilers for bison? No, we do not. Or unless you're talking about the rubs. I put rubs out every now and then. Who's this right here? So this is, I actually call her Stands with the Fist. She was a grand champion heifer I bought 2 years ago in 2019 at a sale in Oklahoma. She's from the Quapaw Nation. She's really pretty. Anda Cochran asks, how many red dogs are you expecting this year? Let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially 6. I would say 6 is a comfortable number. Is what we expect. We just hope that happens. Red dogs get in an RV. Red dogs are bison calves. Joe asked, when the calves give birth, is it only one or can they have twins? When the females have calves, they typically only have one. Having bison twins is rare. Connie asked, did Dunbar ever play with the toy? He did a little bit, but I ended up having to move him out of that lot, and we let him graze, so he hadn't been in that lot in a while. Dina asked, have you ever had a close call with any of the bison while you're driving around or working in the field? No, I've had a run-in with Eleanor a couple times, just moving them. But, of course, she's trying to get out of the way, and so am I. But, no, nothing. They just always are, like Dunbar, he's always interested in me and what I'm doing, so. Crystal Rudolph, how long do they live on average? I'm not sure. I'd say probably 25 years maybe, a healthy one. Thanks, Noah. Matt Duran, jealous. Got a bison ranch around us owned by Ted Turner. Romeo Ranch, New Mexico. Jealous. That guy's got 5 or 6 ranches. It's crazy. He's got more bison. Bruce Jiggers, given your acreage, water, ground cover, how many head can you run? I'd say comfortably we probably can run 1 bison per, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 acres, maybe less. Kevin, cross them with a cow and the meat won't be so gamey. Actually, I don't know if you've ever eaten bison, but it's not gamey. That's the great thing about it. You don't have to cross them with cattle because their meat, bison meat, is not gamey at all, actually. Charlie, ever thought of selling your own line of bison burgers? Yes, we've talked about getting in the meat side of it. Michael, I bet you're glad the cold below zero weather is done. Heck yeah, this is a lot better than that. We're springtime right now. It's awesome. Get in an RV. Do you have any conflicts with cattle farmers in your area? No, we do not. My neighbor is great, and we've never had any issues, knock on wood. Crystal asked, do you have a number that you would like your herd to get up to someday? Yeah, here on this property, we probably can only have maybe 15 to 20 animals total. We've got 13 right now, but I'd like to have some more land and more animals in the future, yes. Low blow. Have you thought about saddling up on guy on a buffalo? No. Maybe crossed my mind, but I didn't think about it very long. No, thank you. Yeah, Bruce said, I used to take bison roast with potatoes and onions, some carrots, and crock pot. I actually ate bison roast yesterday, and it was so delicious. Put it on a bun with some provolone cheese. It was so good. Sean asked, do they let you pet them? Yeah, I'm not going to walk up there and pet them right now, but Eleanor would, and Dunbar does, so. Christy asked, any plans on buying more land? Yes, we'd love to. Demi, love your channel. I own Fat Boys Tacos here in Waco, Texas. Oh, that sounds good. You're making me hungry, man. Think about using bison meat for tacos. Where do you recommend getting it from? Well, I wish I had some for you, brother. But down there, I'd have to get you contacted with the Texas Bison Association. I'm not sure down there. I wish I could help you out. Thank you, Crystal. All right, guys, I just wanted to check in with you, let you know about the big projects we've been working on. Got some water videos coming out of our automatic water system. As you can tell, everything's changing and it's all turning green now. So we've got our paddock set up. We've got our waters almost completed, so we can start rotating these animals, do some pasture rotation. And stay tuned. Also, I'm going to put those videos out. I'm going to do 2 a week. And then I also went to Missouri yesterday. I spent the weekend up there with my wife and baby Brooks, and we went to the Missouri Bison Association sale and followed Noah around as he purchases, starting a herd. He purchased some calves. Stay tuned for that video. It'll be coming up on Sunday. I'm going to go spend some time with Brooks and the wife for now. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you for following Cross Timbers Bison. Just want to keep you guys updated on stuff. If you have anything, you guys can comment below or ask any questions, and I'll do my best to get back to you guys. You guys have a great week, and stay tuned for some upcoming videos. You guys say bye to Dunbar. See you guys.